How we doing, guys? DG Trading 101 here, back with another audio blog. And today I wanted to talk about an extremely common question that I often get in DMs and from people. And it's a very sort of general question, but there's a very specific answer to it that I think you guys already know, but I want to say it again. You know, like so many things in trading, a lot of it is fairly obvious and not overly complicated and right in front of our face, but there are certain elements that cause us not to be able to see the light, so to speak. So the question that I get all the time is, you know, in different forms, of course, and one form or another, people will say, you know, how do I find direction in my trading, right? I don't have a niche. I feel like everybody has one and I don't. I don't even know where to start. Help. Something along those lines. So here's what I say to that. For starters, you are not alone. Nobody knew what they wanted to do at the start of their trading journey, so don't get discouraged, right? Nobody knew. And that's completely normal. You're not supposed to know. And like I always like to say, you know, trading is not going from point A to point B. It's more like a drunken zigzag stumble from point A to point Z and making pit stops at the rest of the alphabet and the entire numerical system on the way there, right? So in order to find out what to do in your trading, it's resolved through a trial and error process of realizing what not to do. That's the best way to describe it. You figure out what to do by first figuring out what not to do. That's the best way I can describe it. That's what this journey is. It's very simple. You know, you wake up, you try something, you see what happens. If it doesn't work, that's fine. Try are not going to work, right? That's the way it is. And are they failures? You know, absolutely not. What they are the next puzzle pieces to the complicated masterpiece that is your successful trading career. Say you try doing something for a day or a week, right? And you fail. Well, now you don't know what to do, right? You still don't know what to do. But guess what? The next week when you come back, you certainly know what not to do, right? It was that thing that you did last week that wasn't working. So let's just say, you know, for a round number, say there are 100 possible mistakes to make in trading at the very beginning of your journey. And last week you woke up and you didn't know any of them. Well, this week you made some mistakes and you checked a few off the list. So next week when you come, maybe there's only 95 now, right? It's a slow process of trial and error and chipping away at figuring out, okay, well, that didn't work. Well, that didn't work. Well, that didn't work, right? And you need to kind of log this stuff and fiddle with it yourself, you know, and each week you can get a little bit closer to figuring out what works for you. It's, you know, it's a process of elimination of unsuccessful experiments that lead you to where you want to go. That's the best way to describe it. You know, don't try and mimic trader XYZ because, you know, you saw him post a big P&L or, oh, this is a credited guy, you know, does it this way. I have to do it like him. You know, no. You need to try everything and see how you feel. Emphasis on you, right? Don't let other people's success dictate what you trade. You need to dictate what you trade, right? Not anybody else. And on that note, I see so many people that are new to the game, like very new to the game. This kind of blows my mind a little bit. So they're new to the game and they come to me like, I'm a bear. I want to short penny stocks. That's what I'm drawn to, right? Like this guy's been trading for like 2 months and he's trying to tell me that he's solved the puzzle to the world. He's like, well, I don't know how to do it yet, but that's what I want to do. Like, no, you don't. You don't even know what you want to do yet. You just see people making money doing that and you think you want to do that, right? And that's why this conversation is so important because there's so many different variables in this game and different ways to trade. All we do is we look 10 steps ahead at the money and the end result, and you don't think about everything else. You know, one of my good trading partners just said this the other day. He was talking about being asked how much trading capital should you have? What's an adequate amount of trading capital? And he made a good point that, you know, so many people want to short penny stocks. I see it so often. That's the most common thing. But the thing you don't realize is that if you don't have, you know, a lot of money, at least minimum, you know, $50,000, $100,000 and 3 or 4 different accounts with different access to the borrows, you're going to have a real hard time shorting penny stocks in the current environment that we're in. It's probably not going to work for you. It's possible, of course, but you're really stacking the odds against you. You know, it was different a few years ago when I started, but the point is that I see so many people saying, well, I'm this, you know, I want to do that, when really all they want to do is they want to make the amount of money that came from that individual doing that, but they don't think about the rest of the puzzle, right? So that's why I'm saying I want to really drive this home, that you need to dictate what you trade, not somebody else's big P&L saying, okay, I'm going to go that route because they're doing it. You know, there's a lot behind the curtains that you don't see. So the only person that knows what's going to work for you is you, right? You know, I saw a guy post $1 million options trade on Apple a few weeks ago. It was pretty sweet. Does that mean that I'm going to stop what I'm doing and my process and go open an options account and try and play Apple call options? Like, no. That's awesome and that's great for him, but you know, that's not what I do, and I'm not about to start doing it just because I saw him post a huge P&L, right? I really want you to kind of process this, because this is the answer to most of your problems, most likely, right? Chat rooms and DVDs can be very helpful. They're good for idea generation. They give you access to a lot of different options, right? But none of them are the correct option. The only way to figure out, you know, what's going to work is through you taking the reins. And the sooner you realize that it's on you to find the solutions, and that nobody is going to hand them to you or give them to you, or somebody's big P&L is not going to translate to what you're going to be doing in your trading, when you can start to put that whole thing together, that's when your path to profitability is going to begin. You know, because you are the only one inside your own head, right? You know, you are the only one who knows how you feel. All of the big successful traders, you know, have a certain style and type of trading they like to do, and that's not random. You know, it's what they are comfortable with and understand best, not what you are comfortable with and understand best, right? There's a comment saying that I like to use often, and it's meddling in things you don't fully understand because you are led to believe that there is a pot of gold at the end is one of the most dangerous things you can possibly do. So please avoid that at all costs, and try not to follow anyone else's path. You know, you need to blaze your own trail, and that is where true confidence and all things trading success begins, in my opinion. So I think you should try and focus on that, and kind of working out your own issues through a trial and error process. And I think that's going to be your best bet. So I would give that a shot. All right, guys, have a good one.